throw them out.
All right. Good morning, everyone. A big thank you to joining us here at Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Roval weekend. Erik Jones is going to kick us off this morning with our media availabilities. A big thank you to Erik for getting up a little bit early and coming in and kicking us off. We'll go ahead and open for questions. Before we get to those questions, though, I do want to give Erik the opportunity to tell us a little bit about a special program that is happening this weekend. Erik, do you mind to give us a quick overview on Window of Hope?
Yeah, as you guys, I'm sure, have seen over the last handful of years, the pink window nets has kind of become a thing here that's happened every year annually with the window nets on the cars on Sunday, and we've been grateful to take this program over for the third year now with the Erik Jones Foundation, and obviously raising money for breast cancer awareness. We have 3 charities that we're going to donate to this year with the proceeds from this program. A couple of just cool things real quick. Almost every team this year purchased their window nets. That's already raised $11,000 for the program before the auction even began. The auction opened on Wednesday, and we're bidding these window nets up. So excited about that. We also added these pull tabs this year, which are on the inside of the race cars as well to help open the window nets, and we're selling those for, I believe, $30 a piece, $20 a piece on the website to also help raise money that'll go towards the auction funds as well. So pretty fun, and been fun to expand it.
All right, we'll go ahead and go to questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. We'll work to get a mic to you, and we'll start here in the middle, the third row, with John Newby.
John Newby, Savage Ventures. A couple quick things for you. Did I hear correctly that you guys had Jack Hawksworth up there doing some simulator work with you and John Hunter?
Yeah, we've had Jack help. I don't know if it's maybe not every road course this year. Mexico, we did some prep. Sonoma with him. Here, Watkins Glen. No, we didn't do any for Watkins Glen, but Jack's been helping us a little bit. We were just kind of trying to. A road course program is frankly been pretty weak at our company for the last few years, and so just trying to get better, trying to get the cars better, get us better. Obviously, Jack has a ton of road course experience, has drove the Cup car at some tests, and so we had him up on Wednesday going over some stuff with him.
And then just kind of following up on that, obviously, you know, his Lexus is vastly different than what you guys drive. But with him having done some of those tests, I mean, what are some of the things that I guess you've kind of picked up on that he does that, coming from, like, you know, late model backgrounds, things like that, you guys don't necessarily learn?
Just ask him a lot of questions on, honestly, I get a lot out of watching him drive and the way he approaches the course on the sim and kind of what he focuses on. So a lot of my questions are kind of centered around why he's doing certain things, because I'm just not a road course guy by nature. So he does things a little bit different sometimes, and I'm curious as to why and figuring those parts and pieces out. I felt like this year, Watkins Glen, things kind of finally started to click for me in the next gen car a little bit on the road course and what it wanted and needed, and a lot of that was from Jack and what we've kind of went through this year. So yeah, most of my questions are just centered, you know, I've been to all these road courses, so kind of know how to get around them, but the technique and the little things are where I was just trying to get better, and watching him and figuring out why and asking him why has been the biggest part.
Okay, we'll continue with questions. If you have a question, raise your hand. Additional questions for Erik? All right, we'll come up front to Jordan, and then we'll go to the second row with Dustin.
Jordan Bianchi, what, as a non-playoff driver, how mindful are you of other drivers on the track who are racing for playoff spots?
Yeah, I mean, I am. I think, you know, I've always... Obviously, there's a couple ways I look at it, I guess. You know, number one, if it's a day where we're in contention to win and running really well, you know, I'm going to do everything we can to win. If it's a day, you know, we're running 18th and you got a guy battling through the field and he's trying to make his way above the cut line, it's going to be a bit different. You know, I think they've earned that respect, right? They raced all year to be in the playoffs, and they've worked hard to now be in the round of 12 and having an opportunity to go to the round of 8. So in my opinion, it's I think it's fairly disrespectful if you didn't give them that service a little bit. I would hope to have that returned, you know, in the future, hopefully when we're a playoff team and in that spot. So I think it's pretty reciprocal. I think. You know, like I said, they've earned that right, so it's just what you really should be doing.
All right, Dustin, go ahead.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. What have the ups and downs of this season been like now with having a son and having a child in your life?
Yeah, I think you're forced to get over things quicker. I feel like I've always done pretty good of kind of, separating racing and home, and I've always been a guy that I love to race, but racing isn't my life. It's what I do, right? It's how I make a living, and it's what I do. And I've always been able to kind of separate that from home. But I think it's made that easier. A day that's not gone well. If David's at the track, you get back to the motorhome, and as frustrated as maybe you are, he's smiling and laughing just because you're back and reaching for you and wanting to hang out. So it's kind of hard to be mad at that point or even be thinking about the race anymore. I think it's probably made my approach better, my focus better. I think, for me, I want to be able to one day sit with him and look back and just tell him how I did things and why I did things this way and show him that. So just leading, I guess, by example a little bit is probably been more encouraged just by having him around. But I think it's made the bad days easier. I think just quicker to get over. It's made the good days more fun in some ways. So it's definitely kind of a balance for sure of from before.
And as this organization continues to grow, obviously it's had its good days, but it's had those challenging days. So with what you just said about having your son, how does that help you help focus this organization on a bad day? You want a bad day to get better, to grow, and to have more better days.
Yeah, I would say, this year, I wouldn't say was up to probably what, I would say this year went how I kind of thought it would go. I think maybe there was a bit higher expectations from the company for our program this year. I felt like this year's is, like I said, I think it's went how I expected. I wish it would have been, more successful. I think we've had times that we've had cars that were capable of running or contending for wins. I would say definitely Indy and Darlington, two that stand out. But it's extremely hard in this current day and age to say, okay, we had two races, we had race-winning speed. Your odds of winning 2 times out of 38, pretty low. You've got to be in a position where you're constantly running up there, constantly in contention in the top 5. Because when you get in those days and you're not always up there, it puts a lot of pressure on the pit crew, puts a lot of pressure on the driver, the crew chief, everybody to make good calls and good decisions. So you've got to get settled in that. You've got to be settled and running up front and contending for wins. Everybody's got to be comfortable with it, and we're just not at that point. And there's just parts of our program that aren't where they need to be. Our road course stuff, short track stuff hasn't been there. Our mile and a half stuff has been pretty good for the most part. So we're just still building. It's just I think it's kind of went along the line of where I see it. I think this was the first year we had good funding and we've had good people and data, and it's just this was a good base building year for us to get a notebook into next year and hopefully just kind of step up from that.
All right. Go ahead, Liz.
Okay, yeah. Hi, Louis Frank, Kicking the Tires. This stage of the season, how do you balance racing for wins versus prepping for 2026?
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a bit track dependent. This weekend, today and tomorrow, working on definitely improving for 26. Just with our road course stuff hasn't been where we've wanted. So the 42 team had a test at Kershaw a little while back. Hopefully learn some stuff that we're trying. It's a way different package we have here this weekend than what we've had on the other road courses. So we're hoping to learn from that. Looking forward to, Talladega, obviously going for the win. Hope we can grab one there. Martinsville, Phoenix, definitely, I would say, probably tougher to contend. Phoenix will be really tough to contend with championship guys. Martinsville will be tough just with where our program's at. So, Talladega will be our good shot to win, and the rest, I would say, will be continuing to build that notebook out for us.
You still go to Bricks?
Where? Pizza, yeah. I haven't been there in a minute. Bricks Pizza. Birkdale's gotten too busy for my taste. You can't park, and it drives me nuts. Yeah.
Spoken like a true race car driver. All right, Eric, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate it. Best of luck this weekend.
Thanks, guys.